Hey, what is going on? Of course, to all of my alternative book snobs out there, it's me, Amira Blaze, guys. A long-awaited episode, once again, of Book Shade. So, for today's episode, guys, you know I have been participating in this readathon that is known as the Tome Readathon. So, first part of the episode, I'm going to just give you my update and progress of how many tomes that I have completed, if at all. But then I also have another affordable book haul here that I wanted to show you some books that I got in the last couple of days, including yesterday. So you know what? Let's start off with the small book haul here that I have to show you here. So I got a lot of cool books, guys. I was really excited about this. Now, you guys know I love me some good, vampire romance, that kind of thing. So I got this it's a very interesting book. It's called The Vampire Archives, and it says the most complete volume of vampire tales ever published. And I mean, guys, it's got everybody from Anne Rice to Stephen King, a lot of different authors in here. So I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to get it. Now, it is used, but it's still in good condition. I just have to get some book tape, just because in the back it's kind of coming apart a little bit. But this is really cool. So, and I also found out that there is an audio book to this, because this is like thousands of pages. This is a tome, okay? So I'm gonna get the audio book so I can read along and take notes and everything for our, who knows, maybe this might be the next book after I'm done with Black Dagger Brotherhood, for the what I like to call the book roast and receipts. Okay, so I got this first. So that was a really cool book, and yeah, it's got all, it's got different variations of different really cool vampire stories in there, so I had to get that. And of course, for those of you who a lot of you guys love J.R.R. Tolkien, so I decided to get this is apparently a classic, so I got The Hobbit. So that's how it looks like there. So this looks like it's gonna be a quick read, so I'm excited about that. And then I don't know, I digress. So okay, so I don't know, for some reason I have really been into collecting book anthologies, and I think the reason why, guys, is hey, we got a random, and random says that apparently they like my choker. Hey, I appreciate that, thank you. Trying to bring a little fashion, a little class to this program. But welcome though to the program here. But like I was saying, I think the reason why I like book anthologies is it's like you're getting all these really interesting authors for one price, instead of getting all these separate books with their stories in it. You can just get one compilation book, and sometimes they have unique short stories that might be a continuation of a bigger series. So this is a anthology that is done by P.N. Elrod, and this is called Strange Brew. So that's what this cover is, so cool too. And yeah, this one has stories of fantasy with witches and stuff. And I know there's another anthology book. I was thinking, I think I should get it. You guys let me know if I should get this, the other anthology book. That one focuses more on medieval times and knights and stuff like that. So I thought that this was cool. And hey, we got Onward, welcome. And Onward is hey, what's going on? Welcome to the program. So yeah, I got that. Now, my favorite thing, guys, that I've been into recently, which I'm kind of surprised, I really like Jane Austen, and I come to find out, guys, that there's a lot of Jane Austen spin-offs. Like, they have different variations of like her top, books like Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility and Emma and so on and so forth. But you know what, I found out that Pride and Prejudice has like the most spin-offs. It's pretty popular. There's different variations. And you know what I also found out too? They also have it like spin-offs in reverse with other like popular characters in the series. So what I found, and I thought this was interesting, this is by Amanda Grange, and this is Pride and Prejudice. It's Darcy's turn to tell his side of the story, because when you're reading Pride and Prejudice, it's in the the focus of Elizabeth, right? So this is called Mr. Darcy's Diary. So what if you took Pride and Prejudice, and instead of Elizabeth's, opinions, you're getting Mr. Darcy. So, and there's also romantic spin-off books too. It's interesting, of Pride and Prejudice as well. So like, what if Mr. Darcy was not interested in Elizabeth and things like that? So I'm starting to, oh hey, we got Wash, hey, what's up? And Wash says, hi, welcome to the program. But yeah, there's so many different spin-offs. I didn't realize that these like Jane Austen spin-offs are really popular, and I didn't know too, guys, but there's also movie adaptations that are based off of Jane Austen's work too, and a lot of them, you'd be surprised, you wouldn't think of like Pride and Prejudice or just Jane Austen's work in general. So yeah, I am excited to read this one because I am curious to be like, what did Mr. Darcy think of Elizabeth, and like when they first met and that kind of thing. And then like, what if Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth, they didn't get married and he decided to go with someone else? I know, scandalous. But yeah, there's so many different authors that they do have all these like different variations, so I thought that was cool. Now this is part of a series. I got the last book here, I believe, or like the 5th book in the main series. There we go. And this one is by one of the most popular authors to do, or author to do a Jane Austen spin-off, is Sharon Lathan, and this is called The Trouble with Mr. Darcy, and it says Pride and Prejudice continues. So this is like the continuation of, once again, Pride and Prejudice. This is also a series. I believe these books are all together. They're called the Darcy Saga. So I was like, yeah, I had to get this too, and the cover is really cool. But yeah, I am such a Jane Austen stan, so we'll talk a lot about her work on the program. And hey, we got EDU, what's up? Hi, welcome to the program. And we also have Stefan, and Stefan says, hey, what's good? Welcome to the program as well. So I know I'm up like super late, guys, but I was so excited about these books and like sharing my progress with what's been like going on with this Tome Readathon. It's really challenged my reading ability for sure. And this is the book, oh my gosh, guys, like I finally have all of the Outlander books finally. And and Stefan says, I read a page of a book and forget what I just read. Help me. Well, when it comes to reading those, Stefan, I have to say though, some people read faster than others. Now there are techniques that you can do. I've watched videos and stuff like that on YouTube that can help you with learning how to read faster, but they do have these really cool techniques that you can learn. So that would be my recommendation to you if you want to learn how to read faster, or you may have to maybe take a course in study skills I did that actually when I was well, this was the first half of my undergrad. In college, I did take a study skills class because it did help me kind of get better acclimated into college. So if you're forgetting stuff like that, or if you want to retain information more, I would say, you know, maybe consider that. Look into a study skills course, or sometimes it might be something, you know, where you may have to get a professional that specializes in, you know, the brain and things like that to maybe help you. So I hope that was somewhat of some options that you could choose from. But yeah, that is a good question, because I had that same problem where I would read something and then someone would be like, okay, well, summarize what happened, and I'm like, you know, I didn't know. So yeah, study skills are very important, and some of the stuff that I learned in that class actually helped me with reading. But see, I'm one of these deep readers, so I'm the type where, and let me tell you guys, my Kindle is like the only man I will ever need. Okay, now all my messiness aside, but excuse me here, I don't know where my Kindle is right now, but yeah, ever since I got a Kindle, that has also helped to increase, you know, me getting better at reading too. But I'm just one of those deep readers where I'll turn, if the book has an audio book, I'll buy it. And the best way for me to retain information is I'm auditory and visual. So I'm kind of one of those kind of combination learners. And I also learn a lot better by doing, like if someone shows me something, I'm like, okay, great, you know, I can pick up on stuff. But if they're like, hey, Amira, can you help me with this, and I'll show you how to do it, then I tend to retain how to, you know, the information a little bit better. So when I'm reading, I'll actually get the audio book if it's available, but if not, Kindle, guys, I just found this out, I didn't know this, but with some Kindle books, you can actually have it read it back to you. You know, now sometimes it may not always be accurate with like certain complicated words and stuff like that, but I'll turn it on and I'll have like the book in my hand and read that way. So if I'm doing like a book review, for example, I'll just like let it, you know, read it back to me and everything, and then you can actually bookmark the sections that you want. So it's really handy. So I would say, you know, maybe look into something like that. Maybe that might help you as well. So those are just some of my suggestions. But oh my gosh, guys, I have the worst acid reflux today. Oh, it's terrible, but I digress. So guys, this is the book I have. It took like a month and a half for it to get here, just because of all the delays because of this coronavirus shit, you know, a mess. So I got this book by Diana Gabaldon, and this is The Scottish Prisoner. And I was so excited. It was like hardcover. I was like, yes. So yeah, I have all of the main books for Outlander, and then I have the first 3 books for the Lord John series. I think I have like 2 more I think I need to get. But yeah, I was really excited to get these the last couple of days. And then guys, I was really naughty. I bought some more books. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. My mom was just like, Amira, seriously, like, why are you buying all these books? And I was like, well, I could be more counterintuitive and like, I don't know, like buy food and sit down and eat all day and cry or something, you know? And then my mom's like, yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, so I've just been really, you know, collecting my favorite book series, and you know, I'm just sitting back a little bit, relax, you know, and read, because unfortunately I got temporarily laid off from my job for the next couple of months, which sucks. But you know, I'm really grateful that I'm just using this time to get my life back in order with like certain things that have been like chaotic for me, like organization and getting my place back into decent condition. That would be good. But yeah, that's all the books, guys, that I have so far. I'm getting some more hopefully in the next couple of weeks, including I have one complete set that's coming, so really excited about that. And I've been buying more ebooks though, because I just don't have like the space to have one of these really big, lavish book collections, darling. So I have been buying more ebooks, and I've been enjoying that. I've been buying more audio books, and we'll talk about that, because it's like for some reason there's always this like hot debate about like audiobooks and whether like are you really a booktuber if you read audiobooks and all of that. We'll get into it, okay? That'll be on Sunday. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm going to give my clap back, okay, my intellectual clap back response in regards to that, because there's always been this battle in regards to booktube sometime about like the authenticity of like who is a booktuber and who is not, like depending on what you read. And I really have to address it, because I think that if that type of mindset continues to perpetuate throughout the booktube community, it really could detrimentally affect the community in the future, because then what will start to happen is that maybe some people might hesitate joining the community because they feel like, oh, I don't have physical books, I have ebooks, so in order to be a booktuber you have to have physical books and things like that. So I really want to address that, because I think it could potentially hurt the community in the future, because if people feel like, oh, maybe I only have a couple of books and I don't have this wonderful collection, they may feel discouraged in joining booktube, or just I just feel like whatever you have is what you have, and you just gotta work with what you have. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that on Sunday for sure. I'm still doing some more research on it, because I really wanted to kind of really understand the culture of the argument and everything. But like whether you read physical books or you have a Kindle, or maybe you have a little bit of everything, like a book, if you like booktube and you are an avid reader and you like reading, that's all that matters. I don't think there has to be certain classifications of like, this is what makes you a booktuber versus this is not, this is what doesn't make you a booktuber. Because I think that's what is that will affect the community in the future. That's just my hypothesis. Because this community is wonderful, and like I appreciate all of you that have been so open and accepting, and appreciating, the books that I like reading and things like that. And I just think it would be really sad if that mindset became a standard, and it would make people hesitate. They were like, oh well, I love booktube, but I don't read, I don't have the money to get all these really nice physical, books that are, are awesome. Maybe I just like ebooks because it's more convenient, or I don't have the space. And it's just something I want to address, because I just noticed that some people feel discouraged to want to become, to do booktube and things like that, just because they feel they don't have the means. And I'm here to say, booktube is for, especially, I focus a lot about reading, reading definitely for adults. So it's like I just noticed sometimes a lot of adults, especially older adults, feel discouraged because they feel like they just can't keep up with the booktube like culture and stuff like that. But one thing I always say about booktube from my experience so far is this community is awesome. It's really welcoming and accepting, but once criterias come in, then I think it will discourage people from wanting to be a part of it, and that's not cool. But that's just me personally. So let's continue here, guys. Let's talk about the Tome Readathon. I have been having an absolute blast, guys, trying to get through some big ass books, okay? So this is my current progress so far. So this is what I'm reading so far. So right now, I'm reading this book by Megan Starks. It is fucking fantastic, guys. This book is called House of Ash and Brimstone. It is about a half demon bounty hunter, guys, that fucking slays demons that are like on some bullshit, okay? And there's some romance in there between her and like this guy like that's right behind her that apparently she cannot stand, is annoyed as hell by. His name is Slade, and I love Slade. Oh my gosh, he is so sexy, like just a breath of fresh air, especially in regards to the paranormal romance genre. But this has action in it too. I mean, it has a little bit of everything, and it's really well done. I'm really impressed with it so far. So in regards to the Tome Readathon, I'm about 60% done. So I'm getting there, guys. I just like to take my time if I'm reading something that for like to read for a review. I like to take my time to make sure I really understand the context of where the author is coming from and that type of stuff. So yeah, I am. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's talk. Okay, you want to read, honey? I'm the queen of reading. Let me read you here. Okay, so we have Arm. Hey, welcome. And Arm says, this is fucked up. And Arm also says, get a real hobby. Okay, the library is open. Since you want to bring it, I'm going to receive it, and then I'm going to give you a clap back here. But I'm going to do it in the intellectual way. First off, everybody has hobbies that they enjoy and that they have the right to enjoy. If reading is not your cup of tea, okay, then why are you watching this program? If reading's not something you're interested in, honey, that's on you. Okay, but for me, at the end of the day, I think reading is wonderful. It keeps the imagination fresh. There are some really good, juicy, steamy reads out there. So if you don't like my program, that is your problem. No disrespect. I'm not gonna stop reading or enjoying the hobbies that I like because let's just say people like you don't enjoy my program. So, the library is now closed and you are done. Bye-bye. No disrespect, but you're not gonna come to my program and tell me what hobbies I should be in or what hobbies I should be into just because you want to be extra. Okay? You should read a book. Find something better in your day and do something productive. Okay? This is why people don't respect, people who are into reading or people that are booktubers, is because we have people out here like these, the person that I was just addressing, where all they want to do is just be disruptive because they think that, because someone who looks like me, I'm some punk bitch and I'm some pushover. I'm not a punk bitch, okay? I stand up for myself and I stand up for my hobbies and interests. And if you don't like it, you can leave. Okay? Like, nobody has time to be dealing with stupidity like that. You felt bored and you just wanted to be disruptive. And as you can see, I shut it down, bitch. So you can have several damn seats. All right? I apologize to those of you who are watching, but unfortunately there are just some people who like to be assholes. And find something in your day, honey. Okay, find something better to do. There's so many things you can do during this time. Nobody got time. Nobody got time. You know, I'm not gonna deal with you, you know, people who want to be, people want to be, extra and shit. Like, do something better with your day. Anyway, as you can see, I don't put up with bullshit, okay? But I digress. Sometimes it's funny, but other times I gotta put you guys in your place. Now, no disrespect, but I am gonna put y'all in your place. You don't come to someone's program and think like you gonna come and be disrespectful and think I'm gonna put up with that bullshit. Have several damn seats. But I digress. So yeah, 60% done with House of Ash and Brimstone. But yeah, this is the first book in the this is like a saga kind of series, it feels like. So this is the Gatewalker series. So I am so excited to see the books that will continue in this series. So yeah, I'm very excited. I got this as a ARC 2 review, so I am very grateful. But yeah, I cannot wait, guys, to tell you this book is popping. It is so good. The action sequences, the way that the sentence structure is orchestrated, the adjectives that are used, you know, it's a wonderful book. So yeah, I'm about 60% done. So that's my progress so far. I some of the other books that I've been reading, they're not tome level, so I had to be a little more precise, okay? So, you know, you know, and you want to come and tell me, you know, you want to come make fun of my size, have several seats. Ridiculous. And then we got Bum, and Bum wants to tell me that I would probably like Twilight. I love how like Twilight apparently is like the only book that like people think of right away when it comes to vampire romances. And do I have Twilight? Yes, but you know why? It's because I wanted to see the hype. Because when Twilight came out at the time, like, it was such the big deal when it came to vampire books in general. So it's just like, I was just like, okay, let me get these books. And now Midnight Sun is going to be coming out. So I mean, I'm going to get it because people put Stephenie Meyer on the highest pedestal when it comes to like vampire books in general that is in this particular like category. So I was like, you know what, I got the first 4 books. I got them really cheap though. I was not gonna pay full price for these no. So I got them, and I'll see what the big deal is, because I wanted to find out, you know. And I have a friend that's like really into Twilight like that, and I know when I do that book roast and critique, oh man, with the book receipts, woo, I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for that, but that's okay because I'm a critic and that's what you do. You know, you give your opinion, and you know, whatever way people are gonna take it, that's how they gonna take it, you know. And yeah, it's just, you know, you're done, Bum. You're done. Wanna come and, you know, be extra? I don't got time. All right. But we've been having fun here, guys, on today's live episode of Bookshade. I do one live episode a week unless it's something like this that's more impromptu, but I do it on Sundays at 9 p.m. Central Time. But yeah, it's just, I'm not gonna put up with the extraness, y'all. Like, you know, like, how would you feel if I made fun of your hobbies that, let's say you're into, like, let's say fishing, and I'm just like, oh, well, fishing is stupid. Fishing is so fucking primitive. Like, you know, you would have, you would feel some kind of way because maybe fishing is a passion of yours. And I love, actually, guys, I'm a huge fan of watching, like, fishing videos and learning how to fish and shit. You know, but you know, and you are done also. Like, nobody got time. No. So sad. It's sad I have to be like that, but you know, you gotta have respect on your program, and I'm not gonna let people come and tell me, you know, what I like, and you know what I'm supposed to like and what I'm not supposed to like. Like, come on, it's not funny. It really is not. All right, and we got Rapid. Hey, what's up? And Rapid says, I love Twilight. Well, hey, to each its own. I'll be tackling those books soon, but I want to get through Black Dagger Brotherhood first, because my favorite booktuber in the whole wide world, no bullshit, she is the shit, Peace Love Books, I saw that she really liked the book, so that's what inspired me to get them. So I'm gonna read the first book. I have it right here in front of me, Dark Lover, because what I try to do, guys, is because I have arcs that I have to read, so I read one arc and then I read one actual book in my TBR. So yeah, I have a lot. I have like, I think over 300 books in my TBR, so you know. So yeah, we will see. And and Rapid says, what the fuck? These books are actually good. What makes them good though? That's the thing I want to know. Like, you know, what makes the whole Twilight book series, like, why does everybody go crazy for them? Because it gets mixed reviews. Like, some people that are like the Twilight stans, they really like them, they go hard for them, and then other people, they just don't like the organizational structure of the book, and they just, maybe the vocabulary is off. So there's a lot of criticisms for Stephenie Meyer, and then there's a lot of pros to her work as well. So that's why I got them, just because I wanted to know what the big deal was. I'm not a Stephenie Meyer fan. I come from the style of reading, like, you know, Bram Stoker and Anne Rice, so I'm a little more traditionalist in a way when it comes to like the vampire books that I read, you know. But if there's innovation in the books, you know, with vampires involved, it has to be executed correctly for me to really be into it. So that's just me personally, but I digress, guys. All right, so that's all that I have to show you for today's episode. You can keep in touch with me the following ways. I am on Twitter and Instagram, which is at Bookshade and then the number 1. Okay. So, oh, thank you so much, Rapid, for following. This is from what was it? The movie, it was called Dracula Dead and Loving It. Ah, that's what I was thinking, because I was trying to think. I was like, what's the movie? It's like one of my favorite movies. I really, 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 really love it. So, but yeah, I love that part where he's like, oh, my head. But you know, I appreciate, oh, thanks so much, guys, for following. I appreciate it. You know, but yeah, I really appreciate the classics. So we'll talk about like Bram Stoker, because guys, let me tell you, you know, I have not fully completed. I read Bram Stoker's Dracula halfway, and hey, thanks so much, man, I appreciate it. It always makes me laugh because I know what he says. He's like, oh, my head, this hurt. But yeah, it's just, I only read halfway on Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I will get the audiobook so I can, yeah, I can like read it and everything, and read the book too, take notes and do all that good shit. But you know, my favorite though, I love me a good, like, especially in regards to romance books, I've really been getting into romance audiobooks. Oh my gosh, some of the guys that do the voice over on like certain characters, so sexy, man. I be drooling while I'm reading. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so hot, you know. I'm so thirsty, y'all, so thirsty. No. I'm a mess. But all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna take off all this makeup and look like, as one of my favorite comics, Lonnie Love would greatly put it, look like a tree monster. And yeah, we got a lot coming up. I try to update the show like every other day, so I have like, you know, balance in my life, which includes working out and like getting back in shape. And then, you know, then I'll get the opposite of people saying I'm ugly and fat, right? Then I'll get the people being like, oh my gosh, you look so good. Or like, oh, you look so good, but you're still a bitch though. A mess, okay? But nobody got time. Like, if you come to my program and you're acting disrespectful or you're saying rude stuff, you know what's gonna happen? You're done. I'm not gonna give you a warning. I'm not gonna, cause nobody got time. This show is for adults. So when you come to this show, guess what? You act like an adult. And if you can't act that way, guess what? You're gone. You're done. I don't tolerate disrespect on my program, and I certainly will not tolerate people coming to my program telling me what I should or should when my hobbies and interests. Like, I'm into what I'm into, and if you don't like it, there are tons of other programs you can watch. And guess what? You're done. So you come to my program, there is zero tolerance here. You say something stupid, you say something ignorant, or something that you think is gonna piss me off. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been doing it for a very long time, so I have heard everything there is to insults or making fun of whatever. I've heard it all, and it don't bother me, okay? So as Tamar Braxton would greatly put it, you get your life, okay? No disrespect. I'm not trying to be an asshole, because that's not my character, but I will stand up for myself. I have zero tolerance for teasing or making fun of people, because I was made fun of, guys, for a good portion of my life, and it really caused me to really shut down my full potential. And that's something I kind of regret in my life, is that I didn't, you know, not physically but like intellectually fight back. Maybe I would be in a better place in my life if I did that, but you know, you live and you learn. And now you make fun of me and stuff like that, I shut it down. I'm not gonna give you a platform, or I'm not gonna give you any reaction or any bullshit that you think that you're gonna try to get a rise out of me. It will not happen. I've done this for a very long time. So I know the whole repertoire, and I have I've been doing this for a very long time. I'll just put it that way. So if you come to my show and you're gonna act extra, you're gonna act a fool, as my people will say, you will be kicked off of my program. And I guarantee that, because I don't put up with it. So with that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching. Sorry about the interruptions of people being disruptive, but unfortunately, because of the person that I am, I don't know why, maybe it's the way that I look, people feel they have this jurisdiction to come to my program and say things that are very hurtful, very disrespectful sometimes, and very disruptive. I just want to apologize to those of you who actually come to my program because you actually enjoy it, or you know, you actually come and you say hi and you're not being an asshole. I am so sorry for the disruptive nature of these people, but I assure you that if they do come to this program, they will be kicked out immediately, and it will not be tolerated on this program. So I'm just making that message very clear, because I work really hard on these programs, and I spend a lot of time, you know, reading these books, and you know, really enjoying it, and really, you know, I'm here to really kind of continue the enjoyment of reading for adults, and especially being older. You know, we kind of live in this society when you're older, it seems that, you know, some people feel they have the right, because I'm older, they want to come and be disruptive and oh yeah, let's disrespect the old person. But see, this old person here, I don't put up with it. So, and I'm sure to those of you who came and y'all got kicked out, this message is for you. I'm not gonna put up with it. So I'm not gonna give you, other people would give you like a warning or something like that. I don't do that. I am zero tolerance, zero bullshit. So you come to my show and you don't act correct, I'm not gonna give you a warning. You're just gonna be kicked out. I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds like, whoa, you're kind of an asshole, but because of what I do, I have to be an asshole sometimes. I have to be that way, because if I don't, it pretty much, it kind of creates a disruption. So I'm not gonna put up with it. I'll address it if I feel like it, just to let you know what you're expecting. Because, sometimes people come to the show and they may not know what my show is about. Because I know on Twitch, you can check me out, of course, twitch.tv/bookshade. I know on Twitch there's not a lot of, I would say, book Twitch streamers. I'm probably one of the very few, so I know it's new, but my show is not like a regular kind of gaming kind of show where you can just come and say some bullshit and then people laugh about it. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. No, my show is actually meant to be a little bit more serious. We have fun, but it's meant to really talk about the discussion of reading and the culture of booktube, and this is a show for adults. I don't deal with dumb bullshit kind of stuff. So I just want to be clear. I'm not going to address it again, but just because this disruptness happened today, I'm just going to address it once, and then after that, all my episodes moving forward, you guys know the rules and stuff like that. So I'm not going to put up with it. So I'm just I'm just being clear. So I've addressed it. I'm going to move on next episode. And if you come and you say something that's rude, or I'm not going to put up with it, I'm not going to put up with it. So I'm not. Okay? All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Some of us have, things that we have to do instead of sitting around and being disruptive in people's shows and being disrespectful, Like, come on. Thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. It's just sad that there are people like this that come to my show, other people's shows, and they think like, oh, they think because I'm a, what they call us, like, female gamers, or, female gamer streamers or something like that. Just because you see a woman, that doesn't mean I'm a dumb bitch. I'm just letting you know. Okay? And we have White, and White says, hi, how are you? Well, I'm doing good, but I just had to kind of address some idiocracy that I have to deal with in regards to doing this show. But I'm being very clear. This is not me. I'm not, a bitch or an asshole. Like, once you guys get to know me, you'll find I am a really nice person. But I am someone that I do stand up for myself, and I stand up for what is right. And I'm not going to stand up for people disrespecting me or disrespecting anybody that comes to my show. I'm not going to put up with it. It's not funny. There's no benefit. And you know what? This is something I always say now. There's no benefit in stupidity. There really isn't. Stupidity is a reflection of yourself. So if you do something ignorant or you say something stupid, people are going to judge you that way. And you know how I know that? It's because I used to be like that. Okay? It's obnoxious. And there's no benefit in stupidity. There's not. You being disruptive, that's you wasting your energy. You're not wasting my energy, honey. I've been doing this for a very long time. Okay? So I'm not gonna put up with it. I'm not. It's stupid, you know? And and White says, I understand that. You know what I mean? It's just like people just see, you know, they see, because I mean, I understand, because most of the time, you know, people who are older, they may not necessarily be into this, and I don't blame some of these people, because, you know, black women doing, you know, Twitch and YouTube, and, you know, or just women of color in general, I get it. You know, we're something new, and we're, you know, we're something that people are not used to, but it doesn't give you the right to come to my show and be disruptive and be disrespectful. Because I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't do that if you had your show. Like, you would be just as, you know, you would get irritated, you know. But I'm not going to give you the reaction that you want. I certainly as hell not going to give you a platform to say some bullshit. So when you come to my show, I see what you say. I'm not going to give you a reaction. I'm going to kick you out automatically. So that's just how I have to do things. I hate that I have to get like that, because that's not my nature. I'm a very nice person, you know. I love everybody, you know. I get along with everybody. I don't give a fuck, you know. But when you come to my show and you want to act, you know, kind of immature is the best way I can also describe it. You're just taking away from, not only from the quality of my, you know, of what I try to achieve on here, but you're also making yourself look stupid too. And there's no benefit to stupidity. Zero. You know, maybe right now you think it's cool, you know, to come in the people's show and be an asshole and do that kind of stuff because it's cool. You know, you're getting clout from, you know, other people who do this, but there's no benefit to it, because eventually people are going to associate you with that negative behavior, and then they don't want to deal with you. And you know how I know that? Because I used to be that kind of person. A little bit. And you know what started happening? Because people thought I was an asshole, people stopped associating with me. Because they kind of prejudged me already, because I had that type of kind of attitude. I wasn't obnoxious, but you know, you just don't want to do that to yourself. It's a bad look, you know. But yeah, I address things head on. So if you come to my program, if it's something worth addressing, and you just want to come and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck up her show, what benefit you get from that? You get none. It's you making yourself look stupid. There's no benefit to it. There's none. It will not bother me, okay? I'm just saying it. You come and you call me a bitch or whatever. Look, I play video games too. You know, I play some like romantic games on here. They're called Tome games and stuff. Look, you can call me female gamer, whatever. I've played video games for a long time. I understand the culture of this gaming community, and I understand it very well. Okay, so you can call me a bitch, you can call me a slut, you can call me whatever you want to call me. It will not bother me. And you know why? Because unfortunately that is a part of the gaming community, especially in regards to what, you know, with women, in regards to women. I'm not here because I'm just trying to, you know, look good and everything and be some airheaded slut. That's not what I'm here for. Okay, I'm here to share my expertise on what I know about reading and Tome games and stuff like that. But I'm not here to be your placemat or your doorstop, because I know that sometimes women, when it comes to the gaming community or whatever, you know, women are involved in, I know that for some men, you know, it's kind of expected, because when women look like this, or if a woman is doing this type of stuff, it's automatically assumed, you know, from the male perspective. Not all men think this way, but the ones that do, you think I'm a slut or I'm a dumb bitch, and that's not how I carry myself. I am a classy woman. I may have this, you know, kind of different look to me, but I'm not a dumb bitch. Okay? Like, it's wrong. And White Rose says, I know what you mean. You're amazing how you talk about this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. No, because I really think it's time, and women have spoken out about this. But as a minority woman, I'm in a very special situation, because not only do I get you know, being called a bitch and a slut and all this horror and all this shit. You know what also I have to deal with? I also have to deal with people saying racist, ignorant stuff to me as well, which is also not okay. And I also don't tolerate that as well. But you're not gonna come to my show and feel, because you see someone who looks like me, that I'm gonna just sit down and put up with it. I'm not as a woman. Okay, I say the same thing to men too. Like, men don't like being disrespected. So why is it that some men come to my show and disrespect me, and then when I talk about it, then I'm a bitch, then I'm a slut, and all this other stuff? No, I have the right to stand up for myself, and I am standing up for myself. I also will stand up for other women, unfortunately, that have to put up with this stuff. Okay, and to some guys. Not all men act this way, so let me be clear. But I would like to address the men that come to my program, the specific ones that have this ideology that a woman who looks like me, or women who do Twitch or YouTube, and let's say they do play games, or in my case, my show is about, you know, reading, and like I play like romantic kind of games. I am not a doormat. I am not a airheaded slut. And these are things that I have been called. Okay? I'm a part of the gaming community or booktube, just like how any other man is a part of it. And I respect men in this community. Why is it? Because I have a vagina that certain men feel they have the right to come to my show and say this disrespectful stuff that you sure as hell would not say to your mother. You wouldn't go to your mother and call her a slut, okay? She gave you life, okay? You wouldn't. So, you know, I'm gonna take some time and talk about this. You certainly would not. So do not come to my program. You know, I don't care, men, women, whoever. Do not come to my program and think because I look this way that I'm some airheaded, you know, that stereotype about female gamers or just women in general that do Twitch or YouTube. Do not think that that is the representation. I didn't come to do this show to deal with stuff like that. Because when, let's say if women are calling, let's reverse it, right? Let's say that women were calling men that, because that happens. I'll be fair with that. Okay, what happens? Guys, they're like, oh my gosh, that's fucking bullshit, like da-da-da-da-da. But don't come and do that to me if you don't like that being done to you. I'm just saying. See, I'm all about equal opportunity. So, you know, if guys are being disrespected like that, I stand up for guys too. I'm like, no, that's not right. Okay, you don't call guys like derogatory stuff like that. But then when it comes to women, it's like, oh, it's okay. You can come. I mean, I've been called a slut, a bitch, so many things I can't even repeat. And that's not okay. It's not okay. It's not. And I don't tolerate it on my program. And you will not have that platform. You will not. And once again, I'm not saying all men in the gaming community act this way. Absolutely not. There are a lot of really nice guys out there who really support this community and respect women in this community. But for those of you who think it's okay because you see me, you're not. No, it is not okay to disrespect me. Because like I said before, you sure as hell would not disrespect your mother the way that you come to my show and say the things you say, or whoever it may be. Because I'm not only going to say it's only men. You know? It's ridiculous. And White says, I have started following you. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. You know, it's very, men, women, whoever, you know, it's already hard enough to do Twitch, you know, it's already, you know, it's already hard enough to do it. But for those of you who come and think it's okay to be disruptive, there's no benefit. There is none, honey. There's none. There's none. It affects this community. And then people think, oh yeah, if you see a female streamer, yeah, you can treat her whatever fucking way you want. I'm not the one. No. You're not. You're gonna treat me with respect. Like, I don't come on and do this because, you know, it's fucking funny, like some bullshit. I work hard on this. You know, it's just, it's not funny, and it's, you know, it's disruptive, you know. So, and oh, thank you so much for the raid here. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's very yeah, it's very disruptive because there's no benefit to it. It, like, when negative stuff happens, guys, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But when negative stuff like this happens, you know what happens? Like, it affects our community. I love being a gamer. I love, like, guys, you'll learn that. I love, you know, I love doing this stuff. But like, when people come to my show and call me a bitch and things like that, what benefit? That, guess what? Then they have these journalists that are just watching for these things to happen, and then you know what happens? Next couple days later, oh, let's talk about Twitch, guys. This is how Twitch is really like. All they do all day is call each other bitches and sluts. When we know that's not true. There's a lot of good that's been coming out of Twitch and YouTube. There's a lot of really cool, you know, just wonderful streamers on here. And I know, I don't, you know, I'm not a supermodel. I get it. You know? So I'm not a, you know, I'm not a supermodel. I get it. I'm older. So I'm gonna act a little bit different, you know? And this is not me discrediting, you know, this next generation coming up, but some of you guys have to learn some manners, man. Because when you have this type of behavior, it's not a good look. It's not. So when you come to my show, I'm about respect, yo, you know? And oh, Blackout says, can we talk about the collar? I'm actually into that. Is it real leather? Looking for quality. This is actually pleather. I don't wear real leather just because of the cost, but then also too, I also think about the animals as well, you know, and you know, if the animals were being used, like let's say, you know, they took the leather and they gave the food, you know, that kind of thing. You know, everybody's kind of divided about that. You know, but for me, I've really have started to wear more pleather things because, you know, I realized when I saw how animals were just being treated, you know, that's when I kind of changed my perspective on it. So I bought, you know, I started buying pleather. I don't really have any leather anything. Like I buy pleather everything, you know, and leather is expensive, man. If you want some like leather studded jacket or something, you're going to be paying like $400 or $500. You know, and that's base. That's not even like that upper echelons, okay? And Black says, I understand that, but real leather is the best. Yeah, it's a matter of personal preference. I mean, I don't, for me, if someone wears leather, it doesn't bother me like that, but I've been more conscious of these things, guys, because of the way things have been changing in our society, and the prices of everything has gone up and up and up, you know? And Real says, oh yeah, then explain the real leopard skin behind you. Okay, first off, what do you think this is? Let's just talk, all right? What do you think this is behind me? You think this is real leopard? Get the fuck out of here. First off, real, like, stuff like real animal hides, right? Guess what? Expensive. This is a bed sheet, guys. Exactly. Savage, thank you. It is a bed sheet. A leopard bed sheet, because I love animal print. I am a huge fan of animal print. You know, I really, you know, like why would an animal so valuable to the ecosystem, why the hell would I buy a it's preposterous. It's preposterous. Think about it, Real. What? That's not a real animal hide. I mean, no disrespect, but this clearly is not. Laughable. That's what it is. Good God. No disrespect, but it is kind of hilarious, man. You know. Gustav says it's a bed. Man, I wish it was. You know, actually my ultimate dream, guys, is I've always wanted to have a bedroom like Quagmire from Family Guy. I told one of my friends that, and she was just like, oh, I can't, bitch, I can't. And Real says, do you have a waterbed? Oh, hell no. Look, I'm a fat woman, okay? I'm not taking chances busting up, you know, a waterbed, okay? I have slept on a waterbed. I did not like it. I'm like, why am I moving, you know? Like, while I was sleeping. I was not a fan, you know? I won't lie, though. I do like those memory foam kind of beds where you know, it like, you know, shapes you real. Yeah, and you are absolutely correct. With this collar, bitch, please. Like, there is no way. There is no way. But yeah, I'm all about respect, guys, because it's like nobody likes being treated in a disrespectful way. Like nobody is about that. So like with my show, I really focus on you know, on respect and treating others in the way you would like to be treated. So if you can't do that, you gonna get the boot, okay? Get your life. All right, so Nick asks, what book we talking about? Well, I just absolutely not Real. You insulted me and made me feel bad. Like, no. Absolutely not. No disrespect, but it's like you know, I mean, you insinuated that I had a leopard animal hide. I mean, how can I? No way. I mean, I'm sorry, but no way. Maybe if you said something nice, then, you know, that may have changed my prerogative. But, you know, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of you have been rude to me today. calling me fat and all this shit. Like, nobody got time for that, y'all. Like, you know, like, look, I have watched a lot of stand-up comedy and, you know, and improvisation comedy, and please come up with better material, y'all. Please come up with better material. Like, please. Okay? If you're gonna come and make fun of someone, like, you know, you gotta learn the art of shade. You know? Like, come on now. You know? Yeah, I do, man. So many people in here. Hey, y'all, what's up? We got Kailu. Hey, what's up? And you know, I mean, just, and Nick see, Nick agrees with me. Like, it, like this. Okay, let me since y'all like to, you know, make fun of people and stuff, let me actually explain to you guys, like, how you do it, right? This is how you throw shade. Okay, shade is something where you gotta point out something about somebody. So, okay, let me throw shade at myself. So, for example, a lot of people make fun of my nose, okay? Like, if you're gonna throw shade at me and be like, you know what, Amira, your nose look like a whole ski resort, I'll be like, ooh, that's nasty. See, that's shade. Shade is not coming and being like, oh, you a bitch, you a slut. You know how many times women hear that a day? And actually, some women, they're into that. Not all of us, because I can only speak for myself, okay? I can't speak for all women. But, you know, they're so, like, we hear that all the time. It is nothing new. But if you come at me and say, like, oh my gosh, your hair looks like a, you know, a retired yoga mat or something like that, now we're talking. You're building your material, you know? Like that's what shade is. Shade is you know, that's how you throw shade. Calling someone fat when they're already fat, that's not shade. You got to come up with adjectives and really build upon that shade. That's how you build shade. Like, shade is not just being like, oh, you a punk ass bitch. You know how many people get called punk ass bitch? like that's not anything new. If you really want to throw shade at me, you gotta be like, oh, hey, you know, your you know, your neck looks like a linebacker. You know, like, that's shade because you have made an observation. You took the time to notice something. You know, like the KFC jokes. You know how many black people hear KFC jokes? I have a dictionary of KFC jokes, and none of them are funny. Only a couple of them are funny, because I could actually tell the person actually took the time to, like, study and come up with some good material. Like, I'm telling y'all need to go and watch some stand-up comedy and then come back and give me some better material, because I am bored. Okay, you calling me a bitch, you calling me fat, calling me no neck, calling me a Lizzo wannabe. How you gonna compare me to one of the most successful plus size singers right now, and just a singer in general? Her size don't matter. If you're gonna insult me, you should compare me. You should compare me to someone who doesn't have talent. You know, I mean, y'all just are level 1 with the humor. Build your material, y'all. Build your material. You know, like, and this is and here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna start kicking out the people who can't come up with good insults. So, Rapid, I'm sorry, you're done. And you know, and yeah, I mean, that's what y'all came here for. Some of you You wanted to come and be like, all right, let's make fun of the fat black woman. Let's make her cry. Do you see me crying right now? Maybe I'm sweating a little bit, but that's just what comes with being fat, yo. Not all fat people sweat, but this one does. See, I can make fun of myself because I'm secure in myself. You know, like that's what like 50% of people here come to talk some shit, and then the other 50% actually come because they like what I do, or they're just curious about the program, or you know, or something like that. No, y'all see color because a lot of times people just come to my show because I am a black female streamer, and there's this kind of insinuation that, you know, someone like me is gonna lose their shit and start crying, and then that's when you guys feel vindicated. That's what's up. That's exactly why some of you come here, because you're like, oh, look at this ugly black woman here. Let's come to her show and be fucking disruptive and say some bullshit, and let's discourage her from doing her show. That's why some of you come here. Is because you see someone like me and I don't have those supermodel looks, or I don't look like Christina Aguilera, so you just want to come and try to bring me down and make me feel like shit. That's what's up. I know what you guys do. I've been around long enough to know. You specifically like to target people who look different, and then you use that as like this energy boost or something to make you guys feel better and bring people like me down. That's what's up. And Caillou is asking, when does the readathon start? It started, I think, May 6th, and it's going till, I think, May 22nd. Yeah, so that's how long I've been doing it, you know. And Caillou says we don't see color. Some of y'all do. That's why you come to my show, because you think that because, you know, I'm African American, that I am an easy target to make fun of me. That's what it is. And because I'm plus size, that's another reason why people come, is because they just want to come and be like, let's make fun of the fat, you know. So, and Pope says you shouldn't have to tolerate that. Yeah, I shouldn't, and I ignore them. But today I wanted to address it, so I have an episode that people can go back to as a reference point to be like, oh, so this is this is what her ground rules are. I'm not one of these people that have these whole list of rules like, yeah, you can't do this and you can't do that, you know. For me, I'm not that type of person. I kick you out if you say some dumb shit, you know, that's disruptive. I just kick you out. I'm not gonna give you a reaction. If it's something funny, it's funny, I'll laugh and then kick you out. Like, I don't got time. Nobody got time, you know. And you get the boot. You know, and you also, Zippy, y'all get the boot. It's simple as that, you know. And okay, so Kusta, what's up, says, can we read Shakespeare novel first? Hamlet is in my top 3. Yeah, a lot of people want for me to get into Shakespeare. I was gonna read Hamilton actually too, because I was interested in that. I thought that was really cool. Because it's not every day, guys, that you get to see that many people of color like that in Broadway. I'm just saying, like, it's different, you know. But it was great. And Caillou says 50 Shades. Guys, come on now. Like, I'm not gonna read 50 Shades. You know why? Because you guys ruined it. I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, maybe I should do a review on it, but since some of y'all came and be disruptive, you ruined it for everybody else. So I'm not gonna do 50 Shades. Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking about it, not to read it out loud, of course not, but to actually review it again, to reread it. But since y'all wanted to be disruptive and be an asshole to me, not doing it. I'm not. So it is what it is. And you're done too, you know? I'm standing up for myself. Like, you know, now because I'm standing up for myself and you guys see that I'm not some, you know, I'm not some punk that you can just trample over and say some bullshit. Now you guys want to, you know, be like, oh, why are you acting like that? Think about it. You work hard on your show. You put a lot of energy into it. And then someone just comes and calls you a punk ass bitch. I mean, you're going to be like, really? Like, are we about this today? No. So, nobody got time. If you guys behave correctly, and it's sad I even have to be like this, but yeah, if you guys behave correctly, maybe I might consider it. You know? And we have Glitter, what's up? And Glitter says, you look tough with that choker. Well, maybe I should wear this more often. You know, like, it's just a mess. Like, I was even actually getting to the point where I was not even going to be on camera anymore, because it's just people, they don't focus on what I'm talking about. They're just focusing on how I look like or some bullshit, you know? And I'm not talking y'all actually complimenting me. I'm talking about the people who want to be disruptive and shit. But I digress. So Savage says, what's your honest opinion on how BDSM was handled within 50 Shades of Grey book? That is an excellent question. I have read the trilogy. I started reading Grey, which is pretty much Christian Grey, you know, it's 50 Shades of Grey in reverse. So instead of through the eyes of Anastasia, it's through Christian's eyes. And yo, he be throwing mega shade at Anastasia. It was it was a mess. But okay, so how did I think about the BDSM representation? This is just me. Okay, first off, the BDSM that was in 50 Shades of Grey was very vanilla, okay? It's very level 1, because there's different types of BDSM. So that's often the misconception when people watch like the movies or they read the book. That is not the whole representation of like of BDSM. A lot of times people just think BDSM is just all bondage and that's it, but there's not. There is dominance and submission, and there's a lot of complexities to it, you know, and it's not always about like the extreme level of BDSM. Like, there's different levels to it, you know. So 50 Shades of Grey to me is not a representation of the BDSM community, and for me, I'm not a part of the BDSM community, even though I have this choker on. It's for stylistic purposes. I listen to a lot of rock and metal, so today I just wanted to look a little like edgy today, which is not, I'm not looking edgy today. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. And then the second thing I have to say is that Christian and Anastasia's relationship is not a healthy relationship, okay? Christian Grey is an asshole, like true definition. Okay, like if you read Grey, it gives that kind of feeling, like he's just like, wow, who is this weak-minded bitch, you know what I mean? Even though he doesn't say it like that, but that's just the way he like thought about her at first, and then he becomes obsessed with her, not in that like romantic way. It's in a very like, I have to have her because I get what I want. And it's not even about like the love connection, which is something to me that I value when it comes to a relationship. So a lot of people were like, oh, hashtag relationship goals. No, 50 Shades of Grey is not hashtag relationship goals. Okay, you can be into BDSM or have a BDSM type of relationship depending on that. You know, what degree of BDSM you're into, but it has to be healthy and not toxic. the way that is presented in 50 Shades of Grey, the trilogy, is very toxic. I wouldn't want to have a relationship like that. So no hashtag relationship goals with that series. That's just me personally. And then Savage says, I agree. I don't mind the vanilla portion because it's an easy introduction to people who know nothing of it. However, the relationship between the two are toxic as fuck and not acceptable. Well, I mean, it to me, it was the way that it was treated. That's my issue with it. Like, I remember, like, my friend, like, told me about it and was like, oh my god, it's like the BDSM, it's like so hot, and I was like, that's it? Like, I bought the, you know, because I buy books sometimes because my friends are like, check this shit out, and I read it and I was just like, this is an insult to the BDSM community. Yeah, they did research and stuff. I'll give them props for that. They actually, like, talked to, like, people that are like experts at it, so I appreciate that. But when you read the books, it is an insult because, like, just from my knowledge of BDSM so far, that's not healthy, yo. It's not. So I don't think it's a great entryway. There are tons of other books that, and I'll have to talk about that in the future, that kind of cover BDSM. See, the problem sometimes with the romance genre is you'll get, like, because there is a subgenre of romance books that are specifically focused on BDSM. And the problems that kind of occurs sometimes is sometimes those books are not healthy. You know, it's just like the whole, like, alpha male and the submissive, like, female, and some people are okay with that, and that's fine. But when it's done in reverse, then it's considered problematic. So to me, that's not fair. You know what I mean? Like, and not like, for me, I don't like alpha male. That's just me when I'm reading romance book. It's just the way that it's presented. You know, it's like the guy kind of, like, some stories it can work out, but usually, like, with some of the alpha male romances that I have read, it's like the guy doesn't have regard for his partner at all. Like, at all. Like, no respect. It's just like, oh, I'm just with her, she's my bitch, you know, like, no respect. And I feel like if you're in a serious relationship or courtship or whatever, there should be a respect there. And BDSM is all about respect. Like, if you actually read and learn about the community, it's actually about respect. It's not about disrespecting, you know, your you know, whether it's your partner or whatever, you know, situation. It's not about disrespect. Even if you read the contract that he made her sign, that's such an asshole, like, contract. Like, there's no respect there. It was all about him and not about her, if you really think about it. So, you know, it gives the illusion that they're equal, but it's not. And, like, the movies make it even worse. Well, the first movie, there's a little bit of redemption in the second movie, and I haven't seen the third movie yet, but, like, the second movie was a little bit more redeeming because we started to see that, like, you know, Anastasia actually has a personality and she has a little grit to her, you know. But yeah, I noticed that when it's like a dominant female with a submissive male romance, then it's problematic sometimes. But most of the time, romance books that I have read, it's this, like, jerky alpha male kind of guy just totally disrespecting women. And for me, that's not my cup of tea. Some people like that. I have a friend that loves reading those type of alpha romances. It's just not for me. I like nice guys, you know, or it could, you know, I just really recently started reading a bad guy romance, but, like, even though he's rough around the edges, he still has redeeming qualities. And when he meets his, you know, when he meets his potential girlfriend, there's still a respect level there. she recognizes that he is kind of rough around the edges and stuff, but like, you know, I can tell that he's a nice guy. I like nice guys, okay? Like, that's just me. I don't like asshole guys. Some women like an asshole guy. I'm not that type. You know, I don't like, you know, for me, the alpha male thing, it's not my thing, you know? Because I have had experiences being with an alpha male kind of guy, and I'm talking more in the stereotypical, because there's a difference between like a confident man versus like a guy that just wants to, like, you know, women are, you know, pieces of shit or something like that. There's a difference. So for me personally, I like nice guys, you know? Now some guys would say those men are weak, but are they really? No. A man that respects women, respects everybody, I think that's a plus. But that's just me. So, oh, and Savage says, I've only seen the movies, wasn't a fan. Yeah, it's not a healthy relationship. I like watching movies with realistic relationships as possible, but we have to remember this is Hollywood, and Hollywood is all about selling a fantasy and not always giving a reality. Are there some movies that give a realistic approach? Yeah, but the whole purpose of entertainment is to entertain. Sometimes it can educate us and inform, and you know what those are called? Documentaries. There's a huge difference, you know? But like that's what I always tell women, like, watch romantic comedies with a grain of salt, because your relationship is not gonna end up like this. It doesn't always. Could it happen? Maybe, but like, you know, it's not every day you go to the grocery store and you drop an orange and some hot guy is like, hey, let me get that for you. Like, let's be realistic here, you know? See, when you talk about relationships in this way, then people say you're an asshole, but we have to be realistic here, okay? It's very rare that you're going to meet the, you know, as they say, the Prince Charming, or, you know, or meet your princess or whatever. You know, everybody has flaws, okay? And if you really want to have a real deep connecting relationship with someone, you have to be honest with those flaws, and you have to have open communication. And the number one thing that I feel as a woman, if a guy's interested in me, is his respect level. Does he treat me the same way around his guy friends, like how we are, you know, with other people and things like that? Does he acknowledge me as his girlfriend if he you know? So yeah, I agree, Savage. It was a mess. It's such a messy book, man. That's why I have a lot of issues with it, you know. But I mean, there's some BDSM romances where it's orchestrated better. But then there's some BDS romances where it's just not healthy, and I feel like it's just kind of reinforcing this, you know, this kind of standard that, like, you know, it's okay to disrespect women, or, you know, all guys are jerks, when we know this is not true. So I always tell people, you know, when it comes to certain genres of romance, you have to take it with a grain of salt. That's just how I see it, you know. Now, I know there are going to be people who are going to be like, you're a bitch and I disagree with your opinion, and that's fine, you know. But for me, I like reading books about healthy romantic relationship, you know. Or maybe that's why I'm into some historical romance, is because they kind of, not all, but they kind of treat it in that way. But, you know, that's just me personally, though. But yeah, it's just, I'm just not into the alpha male thing. That's just me, you know. It doesn't do it for me. Like, it doesn't. Now, a confident man with some good health insurance, yes, God. No, I'm messing. Oh man, you know, yeah, like I said, that, you know, like, I agree with Savage, there is equality when it comes to a BDSM relationship, but a lot of times the way it's kind of presented in Hollywood is like, you know, the submissive is supposed to be treated like a piece of shit. You know, that's not always the case. Like, and you know, I mean, different strokes for different folks, but for me, I like to be treated with respect. Okay, like, you know, I mean, for me, I would say more like I like cosplay and like role play, for example. You know, like that's more of my thing, but like I don't like a guy being disrespectful to me. I don't find that hot. That's just me personally. So yeah, and that's very true, you know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's very popular, guys, in the romance genre. Like alpha male and this, like the really cocky guy, is, a lot of women find it hot, and these books are super popular. I read one and I was not turned on by that. I was just like, oh, when is this guy going to give her flowers? Like, when is this guy actually going to say hello to her in not a like rude way? Like, when is this, you know? Now I can understand they have this one trope that's called the friends to lovers or enemies to lovers. That can actually happen, because I've had that happen once, where there was like a guy that I liked, and there was a guy I didn't like, but then I actually ended up liking him, and we had a lot in common. So that can happen, but I don't like reading romance books where the guy is just like, you know, you're a piece of shit, and then, you know, the woman is all like, you know, oh my gosh, yes, you know, that's not for me. So different strokes for different folks, okay? Yeah, it's a mess. But okay, let me show you again, since we have like people are checking this shit out. And oh, and you enjoyed hearing my perspective is well spoken. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an asshole. Like I try to be as balanced as I can. Now, there's some things I will talk about where, yeah, I do have a little bias, because if it's female related, I'm a woman, yeah, but I'm giving my perspective. But I always give guys a chance, and I always, you know, I am fair on that. But I have to call out bullshit when I see it. And that's what I did today. Is that it's just, you know, there are just some guys, they come to my program and they think because, you know, they see maybe some other female streamers that dress a certain way and that's their aesthetic, but that doesn't mean that the way you treat her is not how you're gonna treat me. That's not right, you know? And actually, just because she looks like that doesn't mean she wants to be treated like garbage or to be called a slut and stuff. Because if, let's say, women started doing that, right? We started going to male Twitch streamer shows, and that can happen. And let's say women started saying the same thing that I get called. Oh my gosh, like there would be a huge uproar. Guys would be like, yo, no, this is not right. We shouldn't be calling other dudes this shit. But when it comes to women, sometimes there's a transparency. It's like, oh yeah, it's okay. You can call her a whore. You can call her a slut. She'll put up with it. It's like an okay behavior when it's not. So I tell women the same thing. I'm like, yeah, it's disrespectful for a woman to say to a man like, oh, you ain't shit, you know, when maybe, you know, it's not good to do things like that sometimes, you know. Yeah, it can depend on the situation where, you know, if you being disrespectful, to be like, hey, you being disrespectful, you know, but I'm not gonna call my significant other a punk ass bitch. That's disrespecting my husband or my boyfriend or who, you know, whatever it may be. So, you know, respect is so important, guys. Like, if there's one thing you'll learn from today's episode is I'm really about respect, and I love everybody and I accept people for being who they are. Even though they may not share my perspective, I still can respect their perspective, because that's what intelligent people do. People that are smart, people that are intelligent, they are willing to listen to different perspectives that are different than their own. And they may not agree with the person, but they can still be respectable. So that's what I try to do. But if you come to my show and you disrespect me because you see a female streamer, I'm not the female streamer to disrespect. Absolutely not. Maybe other female streamers may put up with it, but not me. And I'm sure there are a lot of female streamers, because I can't speak for all of them, that won't put up with this type of shit. And I'm not. So you know. But yeah, you know, this show, I come from a place of intellectualism because I'm really trying to bring respect back, you know, back to Twitch, back to YouTube, so people can respect what we do. You guys are only some of you may have your own shows too, but sometimes you guys are just the audience. You don't see all the behind the scenes shit that we have to deal with. You don't see it. You don't. Sometimes you may not see the, you know, the time. Like, oh, let me give a perfect example of this. You know, since people wanted to be fucking disruptive and shit today, not all of you, some of you guys are very nice, which I appreciate, and thanks to those of you who have followed me, very grateful for that. But like, I'll give an example, guys, of the sacrifices that I have to make this show run. So yesterday I was up, guys, until 5 o'clock in the morning. You can even see it on my face. I'm a little bit tired, okay? And what happened, guys, was I've been playing Final Fantasy 15, and I've been wanting to stream it, you know, to play it, you know, and stuff like that. And for some reason, guys, so I set up my first capture, because I had 2 capture cards. So I set up my first capture card, no sound, no picture. So then I changed the setup again. The picture showed up, but no sound. I tried every single option there was to humankind, and there was no sound. And then I switched to a different headset, still no sound. Then I got sound, but then guess what I was hearing? Feedback. And I hooked up everything correctly, and I was up until 5 a.m. in the morning for you guys, because I care about at least having the best presentation that I can. I know I'm not like these other Twitch streamers that have all these, you know, $15,000 setups with the, you know, the awesome gamer chair and shit. You know why? Because I can't afford it. So I use what I have. But I cared enough. I didn't want to give up on it, guys. And at like, I think 5:30 in the morning exactly, it worked. It worked perfectly. So I have another show that I play, specifically games from that are like JRPGs and games from like Asia and stuff. So like that's what I was setting it up for. Then I couldn't find my wireless adapter, and then I was doing my I did a haul today, and I actually found it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So these are the things, guys, that we have to go through when our equipment doesn't work. Then some people are complaining, and they're like, oh, why isn't your stuff working? And I'm like, if you only knew, bitch, I was up until 5 o'clock this morning. Okay? Like, and I'm not saying this to be like a bitch or something like that, but like, you don't sometimes as the audience, some of you don't understand the behind the scenes of what we have to go through to make this basic ass show run, you know? And then I'm thinking my computer was starting to act weird, and it started having sound card issues. Then I had to fix that. Then now I'm gonna have to probably spend $50, guys, to get another PlayStation 4 controller, because these DualShock 4 controllers suck. So I'm just kind of holding on, because one of my controllers started having feedback issues, and it started kind of having a delay. I tried resetting the controller, same issue. So these are the things that I do, guys, so that you guys get your free entertainment here. I'm making sacrifices, staying up, because that's what you're supposed to do as a streamer to make things work. You know? Yeah, I'm telling you, Savage, it's a mess. It's a mess. Like, you know, yeah, it's just sad that I have to kind of deal with that sometimes, but I know how to deal with it now. I either, you know, I just kick them out automatically, or sometimes I address them, let them know why they got kicked out, and then I just kick them out. you know. And it's no disrespect, I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything, but I think sometimes people, when they see someone like me, they just think I'm the scum of the earth or I'm a piece of garbage, and I have to stand up for myself, which is rightfully so. I get it that people want to, you know, get a rise out of me or something, but you're not gonna get it, because I've done this long enough. I will talk about it, address it, and I'll move on. But next episode, this is it. Like, you say anything ratchet, I'm gonna kick you out. Like, you get in the boots, okay? So, you know, yeah. And like, people call me the N-word, or they try to get me to say it. Come on now, look at me. Like, I know what the N-word is. I'm not stupid like that, you know? So, but alright, let me get off of here. I've done enough screaming and yelling and bitching at you guys, which, you know, it's not all of you, but damn, some of you are really fucking annoying. No. No, I love y'all, but let's recap, okay? Number one, come up with better material. Number two, shade is about doing your research and like pointing something out that, you know, it kind of stings a little bit, you know. And this show is for adults, and we talk about, you know, cool books like this here. This is a Scottish Prisoner. This is part of the Outlander series. You know, that's what my show is about. It's for adults. It's not for people to be immature and be on some dumb shit. Like, nobody got time for that, y'all. It's you guys that are making the Twitch community go to shit. And then these journalists go and be like, all right, so this is how Twitch is, guys. They're all a bunch of assholes. When we know that's not true. The gaming community is awesome. I love Twitch. Like, this is the one thing I look forward to in my day, you know? So, and Savage says, I hate how much I want to get into cool books but never read. Yes, I have that same issue. Like, I'm checking back here, now, I bought all these books, and then I'm like, what time am I going to have to read these? But no, I make it my business on the weekends. I'll turn on my audio book and everything, and, you know, and read and do all that stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my rant. I know I'm going to have a lot of men being like, you're such a fucking bitch. But I'm like, please watch the whole video, okay? I'm not saying all of you guys are assholes. It's just some of you come here and say stuff, and then, you know what, you're not making me look bad, you're making other men look bad. And this is why some women, they're just like, you know what, I am totally done with men and I don't want to deal with y'all. You know, even though it's not always the right mindset to have, but I don't blame some of these women, because when you're dealing with men disrespecting you sometimes all the time, it makes you be like, I don't want to be with any of them. So, I don't, you know, I'm not here to say that all guys are disrespectful, but for some reason, it's like I don't know, some of y'all just don't want, you know, women to play video games or to, you know, to do this. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I would never go to a guy show and be like, you know, oh, you know, you have small balls. You know how much backlash I would get? Oh yeah, Amira went to this guy's stream and said that he had small testicles. How fucking rude. But then when you come to my show and call me a bitch or a slut, you guys are high-fiving each other. And that's not right. And if I see it, you get in the boot. You not getting a warning, or as my people would say, scoop, scoop. That's what's going that's what's gonna happen. I don't put up with ignorance. I don't put up with immaturity. Okay, this show is for adults and not for, you know, some immature bullshit. So but I hope the rest of y'all enjoyed this messy ass show and me having to address motherfuckers, you know. And I shouldn't have to do that, because people should know how to conduct themselves, but a mess. It is a mess. But yeah, you guys can also keep in touch with me the following ways. I am on that Twitter once again and Instagram at Bookshade and #1. And yeah, I'll be back, guys, following day. Another live episode will be on Sunday at 9 o'clock Central Time. This is the reason why I don't do a lot of like, I used to live, you know, do lives all the time, but this is the reason why I don't. And I was even considering not coming on camera anymore, just because I know if I don't come on camera, then people will not come and say the stupid stuff sometimes they say to me, and I could actually like focus on what I need to do. But because this is like a book-based show, and you know, it's very visual, I have to come on camera and put up with the bullshit. Savage says, I have a book that is most popular short stories from Stephen King, but I have to read it. You know, Stephen King, I'm a mixed bag on, because some of his stuff I enjoy, and then there's some other stuff I'm like, all right, you know. But lately, the hype train is real.com. Like, Stephen King, he has a new book out, I believe, and everybody is just standing hard for Stephen King. They're like, oh my gosh, Stephen King is the best, bitch, you better read it. And I'm just like, okay, I'll read it, but watch, let's say I don't like the book, I'm gonna get roasted, bitch, roasted. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. But no, thanks so much for watching, guys. Sorry about me losing my shit just a little bit. Not really, but all right, take it easy, guys. And like I always say, remember to embrace the darkness of reading. I'll see you guys the following day. Take it easy, guys.